We had a chance to make history in the last episode of our realistic Crystal Palace career mode. Palace haven't won a trophy since 1979 when they were champions of the English second division. And we were within touching distance of adding the Carabao Cup to the trophy cabinet. But despite a spirited performance, we missed out by a single Liverpool goal. Palace did manage to make the final of the FA Cup back in 2016, ultimately losing out to Manchester United and an extra time winner courtesy of Jesse Lingard. And in today's episode, we're going to be looking to take another step towards avenging both of those defeats. That's right, in today's episode, we'll be taking on Brentford in the semi-final of the FA Cup as we travel to Wembley for the second consecutive episode. I'll show you highlights of two of our Premier League fixtures against Chelsea and against Brighton. And we'll be quick simming games against Wolves, against West Ham, and against Burnley. We're not only facing Brentford in the semi-final of the FA Cup, but we're also chasing them down for that final top half of the Premier League position, which they currently occupy in 10th, 9 points ahead of us in 13th. So we'll just be looking to put as many points on the board in the Premier League as possible over the course of our Premier League fixtures in today's episode, and we get off to a very good start in that regard. Tyrick Mitchell and Luca Kogliosho both on the score sheet in the second half to give us a 2-0 victory away from home. And we'll try and put in an equally good performance as we host Chelsea at Selhurst Park. It was Chelsea who got off to the quicker start in this one though. Alexander Lacazette combining with Cole Palmer in the penalty area to make it 1-0 early. And despite having opportunities to draw the game level in the first half, we failed to put the ball in the back of the net. Chelsea, however, were far more clinical, and Achraf Hakimi doubled their lead on about the 40-minute mark, which meant we were chasing the game. And whilst Tammy Abraham was in among the chances, he wasn't, unfortunately, in amongst the goals. Chelsea, however, were, and they secured a comfortable 3-0 victory after the half-time break with a third and final goal from Christopher Nkunku. So it was a decent enough performance from us against much stronger opposition, but Chelsea were just far more clinical with their opportunities than we were. We weren't outplayed by Chelsea over the course of the game, to be honest. We failed to take our opportunities at one end, and they succeeded in doing so at the other. And that was the difference in the game. And that brings us to our third game of the episode against Brighton as we travel to the Amex to take on our biggest rivals. William Davidson comes into the side for this one, as does Roscoe Torres. Giannis Constantelius has kind of lost his place to Wilf Zaha since his return to Selhurst Park in January, but he returns to the starting lineup for this one as well. And William Davidson almost had an assist just seconds into this game, lofting it up towards Tammy Abraham, who brought the ball down and forced an incredible save from the Brighton keeper. But we would capitalise on our quick start. Daichi Kamada finding Tammy Abraham in the box, who nodded it in for the opening goal of the game. Once more though, we failed to hold on to the lead. Brighton equalising about half an hour in. And Brighton may have got rid of Bart Verbruggen, but their replacement keeper continued to provide problems for us. He made a number of good saves in the game to keep Brighton level, first from Roscoe Torres and then from Luca Kogliosho. And he kept Brighton in it long enough for them to steal the victory in the second half. A Lewis Dunk header looping into the back of the net. So despite a couple of decent enough performances, it is back-to-back defeats in the Premier League. We're going to look to get back on track against West Ham, and that's exactly what we managed to do. Ismaila Sarr popping up with a goal, which has been a rarity this season, but he does give us the 1-0 victory over West Ham. And we are rotating the 11 fairly substantially for our fourth game of the episode against Burnley, with that FA Cup semi-final clash against Brentford in mind. Joe Bellingham, importantly, comes back into the starting lineup for this one after he's been out for quite some time with injury, and the rotation unfortunately goes against us. We lose 4-1 to newly promoted Burnley. Esteve Bodu, the new signing for Burnley in January, grabbing 2 goals for them, and Dooney grabbing a 4th. Chalobah gets a consolation goal in the 36th minute, which at one point was the equaliser. Today's video is sponsored by Enigma Football, the UK's leading supplier of football shirt mystery boxes just like this one. Enigma stock a wide range of football shirts from clubs from the Big 5 European leagues, from lesser known teams around the world, and even from national teams as well. And you can be 100% certain that their shirts are authentic because they get them straight from the clubs and the manufacturers directly. Their mystery boxes start at just $34.99, and they can be as random or as customized as you like. Of course, you need to specify your shirt size, but you can also let Enigma know if there are any teams or leagues you would like to avoid, if there are any colors or designs that you would prefer, or you can just leave it entirely up to Enigma to choose for you. Enigma had a very good idea of what team I would like to receive, so they sent me this season's Crystal Palace shirt. This exact shirt on the Crystal Palace website would have cost me £60, but if you receive it in a mystery box, you get it almost half that price. And you can knock that price down even further by using code LAMSY at the checkout for a 10% discount on all first orders, including the first month of a mystery box subscription package. So if you're on the lookout for a Christmas gift for the diehard football fan in your life, or if you just want a fun and affordable way to expand your own shirt collection, check out Enigma Football. The link is in the description, and be sure to use code LAMSY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. Shout out to Enigma Football for sponsoring. Now let's get back to the video, which brings us to our sixth and final and featured game of today's episode in the FA Cup semi-final against Brentford. So without further ado, for the second time in consecutive episodes, let's head over to Wembley and see if we can make a second cup final in a single season. So we are back at Wembley. I am starting to think we should petition Steve Parish to make this our permanent home. We are spending so much time here of late. Free kick already. But it was a rough time out last time we were here at Wembley. Lost 1-0 to Liverpool. And it was a decent enough performance, which makes the loss even more difficult to take in some way. Because if we just got absolutely destroyed by Liverpool, then we would probably say fair enough and just accept the defeat. But we had opportunities to win the game, is the frustrating thing. And why do free kicks just not go where you direct them? It happened in the last game that I played. Kamada in behind, chance to give us an early lead. Cracks, what, the bar? The post? There was so much power on that shot from Kamada. I'm not even sure what that ended up coming off. I'm not sure if the Brentford goalkeeper managed to get something on that either. Munoz puts it into the box. Tammy Abraham goes down. And the referee says and does nothing. Adam Moore gets a shot away, which the Brentford keeper parries. But it looked like Tammy Abraham was just yanked to the ground there. Didn't even get a chance to challenge for the header because he was on his backside. Kamada puts the ball in. Headed clear by Brentford. Wharton finds Torres, who strikes with his right. Keeper on the ground, but hooked clear by Brentford before we can take advantage. Positive start to the game, though. Roscoe Torres tries slipping it through for Tammy Abraham, and it was an ambitious attempt, to say the least. Roscoe Torres starting ahead of Tyrick Mitchell. Mitchell has been far better defensively in recent games than he has been previously in the season. He's had a bit of a poor season overall, to be honest. But he has stepped things up in the last couple of episodes defensively at the very least, and has shown some promise going forward. Good challenge by Trevor Chalobah. Koulibaly starts at centre-back today as well. No Maxence Lacroix is not match fit, unfortunately. Torres can't quite find Abraham. Just didn't quite put enough on the cross. I think if we put a touch more power on that, Abraham was stealing in at the back post, and I would have fancied him to get a header on target at the very least. Norgard for Brentford. Patrick Schick up front for Brentford today. It's the first time we've seen him start for the side. It's a great run from Wilf Zaha. Found by Koleosho, but it's a poor touch in the end. It's been a positive start from us on the front foot. And very much looking to get the ball forward as soon as we win it back from Brentford. And we seem to have options in the final third available as well. Daniel Munoz beaten by Johan Visser. Chalobah comes across to deal with it though and hooks clear. Good defending. The same can be said for Adam Wharton. Koulibaly will just lay it back to Dean Henderson. Koulibaly once more. Roscoe Torres in an advanced position. Wilf Zaha. Runners either side of him. Opts for Roscoe Torres. And I was looking for Luca Koleosho there. Daichi Kamada collects though. Finds Tammy Abraham. And there's Wilf Zaha. Gets the shot away, but it's blocked. But again, positive signs. I fancy us to score today at the very least. Whether we score more than one, whether the goals that we score are enough to win us the game, who knows? But I think Brentford are there for the taking. That's my conclusion 20-ish minutes into the game. Brentford having a slightly better season than us in the Premier League, but they're not an opponent I'm particularly concerned about. I think we can overcome them here today. And this bright start in the opening 20 minutes has certainly, I would say, confirmed that prediction. Daichi Kamada, shot from range, parried away by the Brentford keeper, but again we test him. Zaha lays it back for Wharton and the pass is behind him. It's a poor one. We have to take better advantage of that with Wilf Zaha. He is already down to a 77 overall, by the way. I mean, he is, I believe, 33 years of age. Early run from Tammy Abraham. Just a little too much on it this time. We didn't quite put enough on it last time with Roscoe Torres. But it's a little too much this time with Luca Koleosho. But yeah, Wilf Zaha, I believe 33 years old. And is has already lost an overall point. Could well be a 76 by next season. So he has kind of come in for the second half of season 2 here to give us a short-term boost, and I think he will likely just be depth from season 3 onwards. Constantelius would likely have that left wing position again next season. Koleosho on the right, and then Ismail Assar, Wilf Zaha, and then Raksaki is the depth behind the two starters. Daichi Kamada. Seen a lot of success down that left-hand side. Through Torres, through Zaha. Through here, Kamada. He finds Adam Wharton. Roscoe Torres. Zaha taking up a nice position. Pulls it back for Abraham, who gets the shot away. Saved again by the Brentford keeper. It's been all Crystal Palace, though. I don't think Dean Henderson's had a sniff of the ball yet. It's been absolute domination here in the FA Cup semi-final. Kamada to deliver the corner. Munoz at the back post, headed clear by Brentford. Koleosho knocks it down for Munoz, who lofts it up towards the back post, blocked immediately by a Brentford defender. It's Arsenal versus Liverpool in the other semi-final clash. I'm kind of hoping, well, I'm obviously hoping that we win here. I'm kind of hoping that Liverpool win the other game so that we can set up a cup final rematch and try and avenge that Carabao Cup final defeat by overcoming Liverpool in the FA Cup final instead. Luca Koleosho collects after the mistake from the Brentford defenders, and Tammy Abraham can only hit it straight at the Brentford keeper. But we continue to ask questions of the Brentford keeper, who continues to find answers at the moment. Daichi Kamada couldn't find Tammy Abraham. Munoz wins the header though. Overlapping run, but Koleosho can't find Munoz. Patrick Schick is never going to beat Daniel Munoz like that. Koulibaly. That's not what we needed whatsoever. Johan Visser struggling to get in behind Trevor Chalobah, thankfully strong enough to hold him off, and that's a fantastic run from Roscoe Torres. I don't think it's going to come off, but we do manage to keep it in with Will Zaha. Adam Wharton finds Zaha once more, lofted up towards Tammy Abraham, and again headed and then eventually hooked clear by Brentford. Roscoe Torres, has been relentless pressure. Adam Wharton. Daichi Kamada. The pass a little behind him. Koleosho lofts it in. Zaha at the back post, can't win the header. Falls for Adam Wharton, who headers it. How many times in recent episodes have we tried to set up a volley? Do I need to wait even longer to power up the shot? I mean, the ball is falling out of the air. I waited about as long as I thought possible to power up that shot so that Adam Wharton would hit it on the volley. Yet still, he tries to header it. Decent enough effort from range from Will Zaha. But again, it's not asking enough of a question of the Brentford keeper. We've hit too many shots straight at him in this first half. And I think if we don't go in with a lead at the halftime break, which it's looking distinctly as if it might be a possibility that that happens, I think we have to feel very disappointed. Not hard done by exactly, because it's not as if luck has been against us. It's more so that we haven't been clinical enough with the opportunities that we've created. It'll be our own fault if we go in at half-time without a lead. That was the case against Chelsea as well. We created opportunities in that game. As many as Chelsea, as a matter of fact. But Chelsea took 3 of theirs and we took 0. Again, that was a game where it wasn't a lack of fortune that prevented us from scoring. Instead, it was our own poor finishing. Schick, big save from Henderson at the near post. It's the first save he's had to make in the first half. But I would have been outraged if we conceded at the very end of the first half there, and we still might. And we still might. Daichi Kamada can't head clear. Visser finds Mbermo. Blocked by Kamada. And Trevor Chalobah shows no interest in trying to clear the ball. And eventually we do manage to hook clear. Half time, 0-0 somehow. Absolute domination in the first half. Created a number of opportunities to take the lead. Failed to do so. But I think we just need to come out and play the exact same way in the second half. Something's got to give, surely. So back out for the second half at Wembley, where we will, of course, be looking to get on the score sheet as soon as possible, ideally. That's such a poor pass from Roscoe Torres. As soon as possible, ideally, because the longer it remains 0-0, the greater the chance of Brentford nicking a goal themselves. And Mbermo. Janelt drives towards the back line, but has few options up in support, and we have plenty of defenders back. Patrick Schick. Koulibaly cuts it out. Koulibaly loses out to Patrick Schick momentarily. Does recover possession though. Kamada. Here's Munoz. Good run from Luka Koleosho, and it's a perfect pass from Munoz. Tammy Abraham gets the shot away, but it's blocked. 2 Brentford defenders came across to deal with that, and it needed the 2 of them. I think if either one had come across alone, then Abraham potentially could have got the shot away a little more comfortably. But the two came across, narrowed the angle, and managed to get the block in. Daniel Munoz wins the header. Adam Wharton spots Wilfred Zaha, who lost the ball up towards Tammy Abraham, who's his first time on the volley. And the linesman's flag is up. I did wonder. It must have been close. But the little chipped through ball from Wilf Zaha. He's so close. It's so close. So we do put the ball in the back of the net. 50 minutes into the game. But unfortunately, ruled out for offside. If I had my way, that would probably be level. And we would have the opening goal of the game. Not the way it works these days, though. Yanel again. Loses out easily to Koulibaly. Wilf Zaha's never going to get there, but we have to force Roeslev to deal with it. Deal with it he does. Making a bit of a meal of it in the corner, though. Does manage eventually to find a route out. Not until Adam Wharton steals the ball back, though. Tammy Abraham couldn't win the header. Patrick Schick dropping deep. Finds Damsgaard. Brentford still with just the one shot on goal, really. Right at the very end of the first half, they've been pretty poor overall. And really don't deserve to still be level in the game. But again, it's been our own poor finishing that has prevented us from taking the lead. No, Kolyosho's going to be offside here as well. Things not exactly starting to fall apart towards the end of the season here by any means, but some very frustrating games here at the end of the season. We've kind of set ourselves up to have an incredibly successful season. Top half. Made the final of the Carabao Cup. We've made at least the final four of the FA Cup. But it looks like well, it has the potential to all peter out into a whole lot of nothing, to be honest. That's, of course, already happened in the Carabao Cup. It is all but certain that we will fail to make top half in the Premier League. Zaha finds Abraham, turns, gets the shot away. Shoot with your right foot, Tammy. There's absolutely no reason to shoot with the left there. Absolutely no reason. I'm trying to curl it into the far corner. And there's not a lot I can do but aim for that far corner and hit a finesse shot. He inexplicably goes with his left instead of his right. But it is looking like our potential has the season. Our potential has the season. Our season has the potential to just completely peter out. We lose in the Carabao Cup final. We're not making top half. And so it all kind of rests on the FA Cup final. And we still haven't even managed to secure a ticket there at this stage. So, kind of a crisis point in the season, to be honest. I mean, to be fair, it is all but certain that we improve on our Premier League finish from last season. We're not going to improve on it quite as much as we would have liked. We wanted a top half finish. We finished in 14th last year. And it's going to be pretty much impossible to finish 14th or lower. We are almost certainly going to finish 11th, 12th or 13th. So technically an improvement in the Premier League. And big improvements in the Cup. But it's certainly going to feel like a disappointment if we don't come away with a trophy or a top half finish. I think we're going to have to make a change or two here, 67 minutes into the game. So a couple of changes down the left-hand side as Constantelius comes on for Wilf Zaha. And Roscoe Torres makes way for Tyrick Mitchell. No changes just yet by Brentford, I don't believe. So we enter the final 20 minutes of the game. Looking to put the ball in the back of the net for a second time. A first time legally. Brentford looking to nick a goal to steal the result and steal our place in the cup final. It very much feels like our place in the cup final. Feels like we're destined to take on Liverpool again. In fact, it feels like the universe is trying to resist that destiny based on how this game has gone. It feels like that is our destiny and the universe is doing its best to throw a spanner in the works. Good challenge, Tyrick Mitchell. Might have to bring Adam Wharton off at some point as well. Could do with a little more... I mean, I was going to say a little more industry in midfield. He's a very industrious midfielder, Adam Wharton. Koleosho with a fantastic run. Adam Wharton finds him. And we try and pull it back across goal. But dealt with well by Brentford, to be fair. I looked for the initial pullback towards Tammy Abraham. But it wasn't on, so I delayed it slightly and it still wasn't on. Tammy Abraham heads it into the ground. More solid contact there and we may well have the lead. But the header kind of straight down and then just bounces up into the grateful grasp of the goalkeeper, Patrick Schick. Loses out to Koulibaly. There's Tammy Abraham and there's Koleosho. Could this be our opportunity? And it is! Koleosho, emphatic finish. Tammy Abraham's threatened to score at various points in today's game. But it's Abraham who gets the assist. And Koleosho, who continues to have a very, very strong second half of the season. He's been excellent in recent episodes. Grabs the goal that could see us through to the FA Cup final. An absolutely emphatic finish. Fires it past the Brentford goalkeeper into the far corner. And you can't say that it hasn't been coming. You can't say we don't deserve it. You can't say we haven't been the better side over the course of these 77 minutes. And you can't, I don't think, say that we don't deserve to win. We are going to have to see things through, though. Probably about 15 minutes total. Stoppage time included. Left to traverse. But if we do manage to traverse those 15 minutes without conceding, we will be in a cup final for the second time this season. Chalobah gets in a really good challenge on Patrick Schick. And if we do traverse those 15 minutes without conceding, we will be playing at Wembley for the third time this season. Tammy Abraham, Daichi Kamada, Luka Koleosho once more. He's got company on this occasion. Can't quite beat his man, but can find Daichi Kamada. And there's Adam Wharton. Shifts it onto his right foot, tries to drive past Ethan Pinnock. And if Adam Wharton was a little more two-footed, I probably would have taken a shot on there with his right foot. I didn't like it from range, though, so tried to burst into the penalty area, create a yard of space, and get the shot away that way. But Ethan Pinnock deals with it well. That's such a good ball in behind, and we are in trouble here. Brian Mbeumo, good save. Italiano forces the save from Dean Henderson at the near post. And Brentford will make a change now as Damsgaard comes off for Fofana. Really good ball in behind from Brian Mbeumo to stretch our back line for one of the first times today. With Visser and Mbeumo starting on the wings, you would have thought Brentford would have stretched our back line a little more often, but they just haven't done so. Especially with Patrick Schick up front as well, dropping into dropping into a position deep in midfield as he has been doing, but he's led the line there and he has grabbed an equaliser for Brentford. About 3 minutes from time. And I think now you can say that that hasn't been coming. I think you can say they don't deserve it. 86 minutes into the game. Brentford have an equaliser. And it really is starting to look like it's just not going to work out for us. Looks like we're heading to extra time. Potentially penalties. We have won on penalties deep in a cup competition already this season. What was it? Quarter-finals against West Ham, I want to say. And then we beat United over the 2 legs in the Carabao Cup. In the semis. Koulibaly wins the header. Can we create one final opportunity? Not like that. That's awful from Tyrick Mitchell. Janelt. He's had a decent game for Brentford, to be fair. Vitaly Janelt. He's been picking up some dangerous positions. Patrick Schick once more. I thought a good challenge from Chris Richards. Apparently not, but I think Patrick Schick was offside anyway. 4 minutes of added time. Kolyosho was in space on the right. Have we overcooked that a little? No, we haven't. Kolyosho tries to beat his man outside. Can't quite do so. Oh, and doesn't quite manage to keep it in either. Thought we got the better of the Brentford left back there for a moment. Not to be. Fofana for Brentford. Just a minute of regular time left. Does look like it's going to extra time here at Wembley. Brennan Johnson looking to create one final opportunity through Patrick Schick. Adam Wharton puts a stop to that. And the referee surely has got to blow his whistle. 4 minutes have elapsed. He's going to allow Brentford one final opportunity through Brennan Johnson. Johnson declining to take the shot on. It's there to be taken. But we do eventually get the foot in. 1-1 over the course of the regulation 90. So we will be going to extra time. We still have plenty of substitutions to make. And I think we may make 1 or 2 before we come out for the additional period. So just the one additional change as we come back out for extra time here at Wembley. William Davidson has come on in midfield for Adam Wharton. So some fresh legs. Adam Wharton put in a hard 90 minutes. And William Davidson going to come on and try and fulfill a similar role to Adam Wharton. And he's going to try and set Daichi Kamada away here. He's given the ball away instead. Patrick Schick. Chris Richards gets the foot in. Davidson does manage to find Daichi Kamada on this occasion, who just gives the ball straight to Brennan Johnson. And Daniel Munoz has to just hook the ball back to Dean Henderson. Davidson gives the ball away again. Brentford pressing far higher than they were at any point in the regulation 90 to start this extra time period, and it's causing us some issues at the back. Tyrick Mitchell loses out to Brian Mbamo, and it's a good save from Dean Henderson. Kolyosho in space on the right hand side immediately. Dealt with well by the Brentford left back though. I think Ismail Assar might be the next change. Coming on that right hand side again, fresh legs. Good challenge from Daichi Kamada. I never fancy us to win on penalties. I'm not that great at penalties. Oh my God, Dean Henderson scrambling back towards his line. How many times have we seen that in recent episodes? Dean Henderson kind of taken up a position just off his line. So often gets pretty much just lobbed. Thankfully it comes back off the bar. Kind of a bizarre attempt. Not a lot of power in the shot, but it was a kind of looping effort towards the far post. Daniel Munoz cuts it out. Daichi Kamada. Luca Kolyosho once more. Kamada inside him. Tries to go outside. But again, it's a good challenge by the Brentford left-back. Koulibaly can't find Tyrick Mitchell. And Burmo's going to collect and drive into the box, but there's too much on the cross. And Munoz can hit clear towards Kolyosho. And we can't find Daichi Kamada, and we turn back towards our own goal, and Brennan Johnson steals the ball away. Just couldn't find the option on the quick counter-attack there. Thankfully, Patrick Schick hits it straight at Dean Henderson. But it was all Crystal Palace in the regulation 90. It's been all Brentford here in extra time. It's a good run from Tyrick Mitchell. Constantelli is patient. Does manage to find him. Ball almost falls to Tammy Abraham in the box. Brennan Johnson. Did see a Brentford player go down moments ago. Whether or not they are injured, I'm not sure. But they don't seem to be preparing to make a change. And nobody seems to be ailing too much on the pitch, so I assume if there was a knock, it's one that the Brentford player was able to run off. So I think we have to start thinking about penalties as we head into half-time of extra time. We've got a couple of substitutions left to make. We've got some tired legs out there, so I would like to make some changes. But we may well be going to penalties, so we do need to bear that in mind. So back out for the second period of extra time. No changes just yet, but I think if we do, or if we are still level heading into the final couple of minutes of the game, then I think we will make some changes with penalties in mind. It could fall for Tammy Abraham, though it doesn't quite. We will, of course, try and win the game here in the second period of extra time. But if we are heading into the final couple of minutes and it is still tied, we've got Eddie Nketiah to bring on. We've got Jefferson Lerma to bring on, who could be decent enough at penalties. And probably better than any of our other centre-backs. Constantelius, though. Tyrick Mitchell, overlapping run. Tammy Abraham up ahead. Not quite enough on the pass. And Daichi Kamada can't win the header. Daichi Kamada on his last legs. We do need to keep him on, though. He's one of our better penalty takers. He and Tammy Abraham. Whether his lack of energy will affect him in the penalty shootout, I'm not sure. Or in a potential penalty shootout, I'm not sure. William Davidson can't quite win it back. Italiano had a very good game. Plays it in behind for Brian Mbeumo, and it's a good block by Trevor Chalobah. And we can't hook clear, and Brentford grab the goal. It's Thiago. Couldn't clear our lines. And disaster strikes in the second period of extra time at Wembley. And we're going to have to throw everything at this game now. We're going to have to forget about penalties and just bring on as many pairs of fresh legs as we can. It's a good block from Chris Richards, but we just couldn't clear our lines, and it's a clinical finish from Thiago to give Brentford the advantage. We had the better of the 90 minutes. It's undoubtedly the case that Brentford have had the better of the extra time period, though. So final changes of the game is Jefferson Lerma, Eddie Nketiah, Ismail Assar all come on. We're going to step up into our push tactics and our attacking tactical focus and throw everything at the game in the final, couple of minutes. There can't be long left at all. Ismail Assar has to turn backwards. Finds Eddie Nketiah, who is now in a position in centre midfield, actually. Nketiah into the box, can't beat Ethan Pinnock. I mean, he backed off and backed off. As soon as we got into the box, though, he steps up and makes the challenge. Chris Richards can't win it back. Daniel Munoz gets in the way. It's going to be a Brentford free kick, though. And Burmo delivers. Headed by Chris Richards, but not clear. Norgard for Brentford. And Richards pokes it into the path of Eddie Nketiah, and Constantelius is in behind. Has to be able to beat Ethan Pinnock. Pulls it back for Tammy Abraham. He finds William Davidson, who puts it over. The goal was at his mercy. A chance to be a hero in the FA Cup semi-final. And puts it over. I mean, he's not exactly the player that we want in that position. What is that save? What is that save from Dean Henderson? He's not the player we want in that position. It's not his game. He's a defensive midfielder who can sometimes play even centre-back for us. Constantelius, again, in behind. Tammy Abraham finds him. Norgard is back. Constantelius beats him, gets the shot away, blocked by Brentford. And 1 minute of 2 added has already elapsed. Brentford just need to kill the clock and kill the game. And it looks like they're going to be able to do so. Back to Ethan Pinnock. Up to Ruslev. And the 2 minutes have elapsed. The referee just needs to blow the whistle. And he does exactly that. And we crash out of the FA Cup in the semi-final. What an opportunity to level it at the end for William Davidson. I cannot believe he put it over. Cannot believe he put it over. I might need to take another look at that. It's going to bring me nothing but pain if I do. But he had so much of the goal to aim at. The bottom corner was just... There was no way the goalkeeper was going to get there if he just tapped it into the bottom corner. He puts it over. It's going to be Brentford in the final. Arsenal or Liverpool to face them. And it will be Liverpool in back-to-back finals. But we won't be there to join them. We will not be able to avenge that Carabao Cup final defeat. Instead, it's going to be Brentford with the opportunity to put a trophy in their cabinet. So it's heartbreak once more. 2 opportunities for glory this season. We squander them both. That leaves just the Premier League to focus on in the final episode of Season 2. Bournemouth away, Leicester at home, Liverpool at home, Leeds away, and then our final fixture of Season 2 will be at Selhurst Park against Tottenham. The only possible motivation we have for the remainder of the season then is to try and chase down Aston Villa, who now occupy 10th position. Brentford moving up into 9th. We are 9 points behind Aston Villa though, with just 5 games to play. So the chances of overcoming that deficit are just so small. We can finish as high as 11th though, and if we do so despite the cup defeats, you would have to say we've made big improvements here in year 2. So we will try and finish the season strong in the next and final episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.